All right, so good evening, everyone. Just for confirmation, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So today we'll be looking into generics, introduction to C# generics, flexible and reusable code. So whenever you hear generics, it's more of making your code flexible and reused in other projects or modules. So, has anyone heard of generics before, or maybe in your programming language or elsewhere you've come across generics? Has anyone? Emmanuel, Precious, Gift, Deligwe, have you guys heard about generics, or is this new to
No.
you?
Yes, it's new.
All right, Deligwe, go ahead.
Okay, so generics is like a way to make a function or a method reusable depending on the data type you want to
Exactly,
pass.
exactly. All right, so thank you for that. So, what we'll be doing today is more of just looking at the definition of what a generic is and why do we need generics? What are the problems we encounter without using it? What are the advantages? There are so many advantages, but we'll just look at just one, the real world problem of how generics comes into play. Then we look at inbuilt generics we have in C#. Then how do we create our own defined generics? So we'll be doing more of demo because of time. We'll do more of demo. So I'm just going to brush us through what generics are. So what is what is a generic? So in C#, generics allows you write classes, methods, and interfaces that can operate on data type of any type without sacrificing type safety or performance. So there are times when you want to, okay, the gift, go ahead.
Okay. My question is based on the last class. I thought we are still in that OOP. You just taught us the encapsulation
Yes,
and we didn't
yes,
finish
yes,
it up.
yes. Yes, I said you can go and read about the remaining parts. Then if you have any challenge, I would answer. I think that was what I said.
No.
Yes. And another reason for not finishing that is we will still go into ASP.NET next week and we'll still encounter most of those concepts. So when we encounter that, then I'll explain that in ASP.NET, right? So for example, is the what is this? What is this? What is this? What do you call that concept again? When you are checking for errors and all, writing your
Exception
own,
handling.
sorry?
Exception handling.
Exactly, exception handling. So whenever you encounter error and you don't want your application to just like end, you need to catch some exceptions. So all those things, when we go into ASP.NET, we would see them. And when we encounter them, then we would now apply the exception handling to most of them, right? So all those things are just concepts, C#, basic C# concepts you need to just research on, right? The knackoff textbook I gave you guys, everything is inside that knackoff textbook. Everything is there. So you can just check it out there. Anyone you don't understand, just drop it on the group. I don't know if you have been researching. Do you research?
No.
That's the thing now. You should try and just read up all this stuff, yeah? So you can ask any question and would respond. Hmm? You know, C# is very broad, like it's so broad. I'm trying to touch those very important concepts that you would need that will help you in understanding more advanced.
Yes.
concept. So that's what I'm trying to do. So all those basic exception handling and lists, it's something that is straightforward. Hmm? But if you
Yes.
read about it, research, and you still don't understand, you can drop it on the group. Then Emmanuel or I or Samuel or Precious, anyone can respond. Hmm?
All right.
All right, thank you. Today we'll be focusing more on generic. So I've structured this to focus more on generic because of the demo, the practical section that might take a lot of our time. So generic is more of defining a class that accepts different data types. Okay. Without generics now, you can decide to define a class for just one data type. So you are asked to um, write a program that adds numbers. So what comes to your mind is defining a class that takes just data type int. So what if you want to use that same class to handle strings? How do you go about it? You see that you end up creating another class that will handle that string. Or maybe you are asked to write a program that will handle double. You end up creating another class that will handle double implementation. You realize that you end up duplicating, writing the same flow for different data type. So generic comes in whereby you can write just one class that handles different data types, meaning instead of you having three classes that handle their individual integer, double, or string, you can have one class that handles the three of them, which prevents you from creating three classes. Do you understand? Hello, are
Yes,
we
sir.
good?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So let's proceed. We are just 5. Okay. So why do we need generics? The problem without them, why do we need it? So imagine you need a list of numbers, then a list of names, then a list of objects. Without generics, you might write separate list classes for each type. Like I said, if you want to get a list of numbers, you have to define a class that handles numbers. You define another class that handles names, which is strings, then another class that handles objects. So this is writing 3 classes that does the same thing, but the difference is the data type, which isn't ideal, right? So how do we solve that? We introduce generics whereby we create just one class that handles what? Numbers, names, object, all in one, thereby making it dynamic. By doing this, we prevent repetitive code, right? Without generics now, you have a lot of repetitive code, which will be hard to maintain. Then the advantage of generics is code reusability, no duplication, and you can write your code once, meaning you can write your class once and consume it wherever you need it by just specifying the data type that would work for that generic class. So all these things you see when we go into the code. Okay, we have real world problem, like an example, a typical example is the shopping cart where you're building an online shopping cart. So you would need to handle book objects, you need to handle electronic objects, you need to handle grocery item objects. You also need to handle a lot. But without generics, you end up creating class for book carts. You end up creating a class for electronic carts. You create a class for grocery carts. You create a class for all these um, entities, and they are having similar um, function. They're having similar methods, which is what? Add item, remove item, calculate total methods. So for a book entity, if you've heard of CRUD operations, who have heard of CRUD operations before?
I've heard of it before.
Yeah, exactly. So for every entity you create, you should be able to implement the basic CRUD operations, which is the ability. Okay, tell me what's it all about?
It's about deleting, updating, and editing.
Okay. So for every entity you have, the user must be able to create that entity, which is the C. Um, you must be able to get or read the entity data, which is R. Then the ability to update the entity, which is edit it, the normal editing. Then ability to delete. So for every entity, book is an entity. You create the book entity, you perform the CRUD operations, you still create electronic entity, and you still repeat the CRUD operations that was in book. You do the same thing for grocery and you still repeat the same CRUD operation. Imagine having three classes repeating the same CRUD operations. So with generics, now what generic does is you just have one class. Then once you have that class has all the CRUD operations, and what you'll be passing in is just the data type. Let's assume you want to consume that generic class. You just need to call the generic class. Then it will be like the generic class will be asking, what data type do you want to use for the generic class? You say you want to use book. You pass in the book data type into that generic class. It does the implementation for you. Or if you want to implement or handle electronics, you call in the generic class. The generic class will be asking you for the data type that you'd want to use. You say you want to use electronic, you pass in the electronic data type, it does the implementation. So you are using that one generic class to handle these three. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um, Abdul, are we good? Precious, are we good? Deligwe, Emmanuel.
Yes, we are good. I'm good.
All right, all right. So that's just it. So we have some inbuilt generics in C Sharp. We have the list generic list class that is generic that accepts this T stands for any data type. So whenever you see, this is how generic is written. List is the class, then angle T, this T stands for the data type that you want to use. So assuming you want to, this list stores the list of items or maybe students, right? It's like an array, right? So if you want this list to store only names of students, you just need to tell the list generic that I want to, these names of students I will be storing is a string data type, has data type string. So this is how you explicitly state that this is a string. This is a string, right? Telling the generic that this generic will handle string values and you store in all the string names. But if you still want to use this list, this generic class list to hold numbers, you just need to call the list class, then specify the data type, which is int, then ages, then you store all the ages and all. We'll see all this when we go into code. Then we have other generic, which is the dictionary. It's more like the key value pairs, right? We have the queue, we have the stack, we have the hash set. So all these are for you to go and research and study more. Okay. Any question?
Yes,
All right, go
I
ahead.
I not fully understand like the explanation. It's still
All right. So we know about generic. So the question is, how do we write that? How is it written in C sharp, right? How is it written in C sharp? This list is an inbuilt um, generic in C sharp, right? So this list is the name of the class. It's just like the um, students class. We have students class, your usual students class, tax class or hospital class, hospital, right? So those are your
Yeah.
entities. The list is the entity. Now, how do we make this list generic? How do we represent that generic flow in C#? We do that by just calling in this angle bracket, then putting in the generic, this T. So this T stands for data type, meaning it accepts any kind of data type. What are data types? What are examples of data types? We have the string, we have the int, we have the double. So now, what if you are asked to write a program that would store numbers, and you are asked to use the list class, right? So how do you use the list class that is generic? All you just need to do is call in the class list, then specify the data type that you would use to handle that program. So assuming you were asked to store names of students, you just need to call in the list, then specify the data type. This T represent the data type. So this is you consuming or calling the generic class. This is you defining it. This is the definition, right? And this is you calling it. Do you get?
Yes.
Great. So that's how it is. We have the list for int, you specifying that you want to store all numbers and all. Then aside the list, which is an inbuilt generic, we also have orders. We have dictionary. But difference between the list and the dictionary is that the list accept just one data type, while the dictionary accepts two data type, which is in form of key value pairs. So that's another concept on its own, which I would leave you to go and research on. It's not that complex. You just need time to study it and do practice on it. So aside the list and dictionary generics, we have other inbuilt generics. We have the queue, we have the stack, we have the hash set. Queue is more like for first in, first out collection. If you want to go into data structure to understand that, that's still another concept on its own. Do you get now? Don't worry, if you go into the code, you will understand better.
All right, sir.
Okay. So aside the inbuilt generics, just as we have inbuilt classes and we have custom classes. Gift, what are custom classes? What are custom classes? What's the difference between inbuilt and custom class? Hey, you don't forget. Interesting. Okay, Abdul. Wow, you need flogging. Oh.
Sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Firstly, his question I wanted to ask, but at least let me try about the
No
question
worry,
you asked.
ask the question, ask the question.
Okay. My question is that, okay, what is the difference between, because the way you are explaining the list now is like, I see list to usually store data, but you can
Sir,
store
my
more than
network
a
is so
single data,
bad.
more than a specific data if you didn't give actual size compared to array. You know, array has, you need to define maybe a certain size of the certain size of data, unless you need to create a new data, new array before you can assign any variable to that array. So what is it? Is array and list the same thing or they are different?
All right. So array now isn't generic, right? Array isn't generic because with array now you need to, how array works is, okay, I would have just gone into this thing now. Let me see if I can go into the code first. So difference between list and array is that list now can hold more than one data type. Like you can see here now, this generic, it can hold more than one data type. But for the array, it just holds one data type. And let me open my Visual Studio and demonstrate that, okay?
Okay, see.
With example. Let's see. I would come to that. Let me just finish this
All right.
concept. Yes. The gift, I answer. You can't escape. What's the
So,
difference between? No, Abdul, no answer. Let her answer. Is she in this call? Oh, she has left. Okay, who wants to try? Difference between inbuilt classes and custom class.
so like inbuilt class are the class that has already been defined by the, let's say, C sharp, generally like let's say all these are how would I put it? It's already been defined.
Okay.
While custom class is the class you created by yourself, because there are a lot of classes in C sharp that you can, is as if when you are performing the action, it will just be as if that, okay, this is a simple task, but C sharp has already defined a lot of class to perform that certain action to be
Mm,
taken.
okay.
While custom is the class you created by yourself to perform a specific task.
All right. All right. Thank you. All right. So that's it. So just as we have inbuilt classes, we also have custom classes. So for this now, we have inbuilt generics and we also have user-defined generics. So user-defined generics like the custom generics, how you define it. So we can actually define our own generics. So we'll see that when we go into the code. So first thing is creating your own generic class and method. So we can have generic classes and we can have generic methods, right? T is the type parameter. It represents or holds the kind of data type you want to pass in when you're trying to call a generic class. Okay. All right. Right. So let me open up my Visual Studio. Okay, can you see my screen?
Watching the slide.
Okay, wait. Let me know when you can see my screen.
No, you can see your screen. It's showing the slide only.
Okay.
The slide only.
Okay. Why is this thing misbehaving? Right, can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let me recreate this now. This one was from last class. Precious Gift, have you checked up the previous classes and the league way?
I have not finished watching. I'm still watching it.
Okay.
But then the last one that I understood that what happened there.
Okay. Hold on, let me push. I'm coming. It ring changes. Uh, Coming, guys. Check out was successful of conflict. Sorry guys, I'm coming. Let me save this. Okay. Who has used Git before?
So I use it before.
Okay.
Before.
Who else?
I've used it before.
Okay. And the gifts. Have you used it before? All right.
Yes.
Okay, seems everybody have used Git. That's nice. Thank God. Mm, okay, yes. Delete this. Right. Okay. So about the person that need clarity in difference between arrays and lists. So there are various differences. So I'm going to talk about one, which I'll just leave the rest for you to go and research, which has to do with the size, right? When it comes to size, arrays, when you are using arrays, has a fixed size, while when you use lists, it has a dynamic size which can grow as you progress. So how do we write arrays? Okay. Sorry about the noise. So let's say I want to create an array that stores in numbers, right? So how do we write that? First of all, this is the data type for this, which is an array that stores in integers. Then the variable name, arrays, numbers arrays equal to new int. Then you have to specify the size of this array, which is 3. Meaning it cannot grow more than 3. If you specify 3 and you try to store more data that is higher than 3, it's going to flag an error. So these are the limitations we get when we use arrays, which is fixed. All right. So this is me defining it. Then what if I want to add to it? Numbers arrays dot insect, let's see, numbers arrays, then stores in the 1, right? This is how we are assigning the values to each of the, this is a concept on its own, because I'm sure you are aware of arrays, so I want to explain what this index means. So as not to waste time. 2,
Sorry,
3.
sir. Sorry, excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
Can you hear me, sir?
yeah, I can
Please,
hear
can
you.
you please increase the font?
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Is it okay?
Yes, sir, it's better.
All right, thanks. Yeah. So this is how we store arrays. 1, index. 2, I'm sure you know what these index are. We have the 0, 1, and 2. So with arrays now, I'm having 3 items, meaning this is going to store 3 items, right? So let me call it out using the console. Console dot write line. Sorry guys, for those that don't know what arrays is, I want to explain it too because of time. Array data. So we have number arrays. So let me run this first. It's not as if arrays data. Can you see my console?
No, we can't see your console.
Okay. Let me. All right. How about now? So
Yes,
can you?
we can see your console.
All right. So arrays data equal to this. Sorry, I was supposed to put this. I'm using so much of console. All right. When I run this, I should see system.int, but I want to know the value of this particular array, right? String to string. Let me try run that. Okay, still giving me that. 0. Numbers array 0. What's the value of numbers array 0? We check
1.
it, we get 1. So this is the size, which is 3. What if I try adding another 4? 4. Let's say I try adding another. This is 3. Right. You see, what did we get? Unhandled exception, index was outside the bounds of the array. So it's fixed. If you say this size of array is going to have size of 10, it means it cannot exceed 10. That comes with arrays, using arrays when you're talking about size, right?
Yes.
Great. But with list, this is how list works. Okay. All right, that seems I'll be introducing how we write the generic, this inbuilt list. So this list is the class. This is it. This list is the class, represents a strongly typed list of objects that can be accessed by index, provides methods to search, sort, and manipulate lists. So list is a data type. So how do we make it generic? How do we consume the generic? And this is it. Are we all following?
Yes, sir.
Great. Let me go into the class and explain that. The inbuilt class. All right, this is not going. Let me right click, then go to implementation. So this is the inbuilt generic class list that comes with C#.NET 8 when we installed our program and all. So this is them defining this, where you call the public class, then you define this. Are we all following?
Yes.
Great. And this is more like inheritance. It is inheriting from iList, which is an interface iList of this iList generic, then iList and iRead only list. I was supposed to talk about interface in the last class, so I just let that go so as for you guys to just research on and ask questions. So this is how inheritance works, but the main thing I want to explain more is the inbuilt class list. This is how we define theirs. Public class list. Okay, we would also define our own custom class, but I just wanted to show you how they define their own. Then if you want to consume it, this is definition. What if you want to consume it, right? Now, I want to store numbers in this list. What are they going to ask now? They're asking me to, this is the error. It's saying using the generic type list of T requires one type argument, which is telling you like they're asking you for the data type you're going to use. Are we getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Great. So I want to store numbers, meaning I would specify is int, then call in the variable name equal to new list. Same thing here, int. That's all. This is how we get. So even if with this now, then this is how we define it, the list, right? Now I want to store in any number. Difference between arrays and lists. Arrays, it's fixed size. You have to define the size of the array, but with list, you don't need to define it. It can grow, it can reduce. Do you get the difference?
Yes.
Okay. So who asked that? Is it Emmanuel that asked or
Abdul.
Abdul? Are you good?
Right.
Hello?
Yes, I'm the one. Yes, I'm
All
good.
right. All right. You can, there are other differences when it comes to performance or maybe namespace, but what I talked about was in terms of size, right?
All right, sir.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So this is how we write the list. This is the list data type. Storing numbers. Since I want to store numbers, I specify it's int. Okay. Now I go ahead to store in the numbers. How do I store in numbers? Number list dot add, right? Add is a method. Whenever you're dealing with list and you want to add numbers to that list, you call in the method add. Then you pass in the, like I told you about reading all these are documentations. C# comes whenever you install your Visual Studio, it comes with this necessary documentation for you to, it helps you to know what to pass in as argument. Okay. So the first one is this dot add. This add now is a method that is taking in what? This is a method. If I ask now, this method now, what is the return value of this method add? What's the return value or return data type for this method add?
Integer. Int.
No, no, it's not int.
How is it?
I didn't list.
A
Don't
list
worry, you
of
guys have no.
list of
Eh?
integer.
How obvious?
A list of integers, right?
No. It's a different thing. Like list is a class, right? List is the class. If you check now, this is the list. Yeah, this is list. List is a class, right? So inside a class, I told you, we have properties, the constructor, and what again? Hmm? Properties, constructors, what again?
Method.
Thank you. Methods, right? Then what did I just do here? Who can tell me what did I just do here? Hmm? Who can tell me what did I just do here?
You created an instance of
Thank you.
class.
Thank you very much. I created an instance of the list class. Now, this is the list class. I want to access all the members of that class. How do I access it? How do I access it? By making use of the dot. Are we good? Right?
Yes. Yes.
Great. So the variable name dot would allow me to see all the members. So if you click the dot, you see all the members here. We have the add range, aggregate. All these are generic methods. All these are here just for you to try them out. But now the question was, this is the add, right? This is the add. Right? Something. Okay, this is the add now. Look at the add now. You see my IntelliSense, right? This is the IntelliSense now. It's showing you what that method is doing. The question is, what is the return type of this method? Okay, let me go look for another one. Look for another one first. Okay, what's the return type of capacity? No. This one is property. This one is property. Let me look for another one first. Come in. Because this is very important. Once you get this, then you are good to go. Find last. Find index. I'm looking for one straightforward stuff. Index of insert join last minimum. Okay. Not that one. Remove. Okay. Right. Let me use this one back again. I'm not looking, all those ones are advanced stuff. So what I'm asking is, let me go to the add method here, right? This is the list class. Let's go to the methods. We have binary, we have convert, contains, we add range, add width size, add. This is it now. The question is, what's the data type? What's the return value for this function?
Are you referring to like void? Is that what you
Hey,
mean?
that's what I want to hear now. That's what I want to hear. It's actually a void, which is
Didn't
this.
really understand the question.
So that's why I said you can actually check the return value direct here instead of you going into the class. And this is where they specify it here. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Which is this one. So in case you want to check others, this is a void. If you want to check others, this is returning a void. Are we good? just to help you consume different classes and use the methods and all. Hope no one is confused. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Let's just proceed. Sorry about that. Don't worry. Okay. So we have
My network was disturbing, so
okay, that's fine. So I have numbers list dot. I want to make use of add because add is more like saying add an object to the end of the list. So how this works is let me go to my yeah. Can you see my whiteboard?
yes.
Okay. Mm, coming, hold on. All right. So a list is this. Let's say this is a container. This container will only store numbers, right? Add, when you say add one, it means add one to this container. Add to means add it to the end, which is two. If you want to add number three to the container, it's like adding it to the end of two, which is three, not to the beginning. That's the meaning of that statement. This statement. Add an object to the end of the list, not at the beginning. Do we get that?
Yes.
Great. So numbers.list, call it then open brackets. It takes in what? What is it taking in? What parameter? What's the data type of the parameter?
Int.
Great. So it's taking in 3, meaning I want to add 3 to this list. Now, what if I want to add dot add? I want to add hello. It's going to flag an error. Why?
Because that's not the data type. Is not the member of the data type defined.
It's not the member of the data type, right?
Yes.
So what is the data type it's taking?
It's taking int and integer.
It's taking int. Okay, great. So which is 1. Now, if I want to check if it's actually storing it, console.writeLine,
It's not storing.
um, numbers list. If I want to check it, all right, let me run the code now. Can you see this?
No.
Okay, you can't see my console.
Yes.
Okay, I'm coming. Can you see it now?
Not yet.
All right, hold on. Can you see it now?
Not yet.
What's wrong with my screen? Uh, right. Mm, okay. How about now?
No. Okay. Yes.
All right. So it's
I
showing me
guess.
the class name, the attribute generic.list system, but I want it to show me the actual numbers. So I just need to call to string. Let it show me that. If I run it now, It's still showing me this. It's still showing me this. Still showing me this. Still showing me this. All right, let's try the other way around.
So
Numbers
I
list
think
0. Sorry? 3.
this number list dot add is blank, is not, I don't know how to explain it, but what I'm
Go
seeing
ahead, go
here,
ahead.
the blue is not, I don't know how to explain it, but okay, it's not shine. It's not like it's blank, like it's blank. Oh, don't say blank. I don't know what's
You mean the appearance?
Yes. So
Okay, okay, okay. The reason why it's like this is the GitHub flow, like it's GitHub feature. So
oh,
GitHub, this is just saying this is an additional change you have just made to it, right? It's an additional change you just made. It's GitHub feature. You don't need to bother about that. Hmm?
oh,
Yeah. So number list 0 gave me 3. Number list 1, if I want to check the index 1, the value of index 1,
is
it's
zero.
going to be 1. See it now. This at position 0, this
Yes.
at position 1. So at position 2, what do you think it's going to be?
Position 2 is going to be 1.
No,
Ah,
empty.
it's
It's
going
It will
to
not
be
be
1.
empty. It will be
Yeah.
empty.
it's
Index was out of range,
out
right?
of range.
Meaning
Yes.
we are trying to get a value of a position that doesn't exist. Okay. So that's it for that. This is how we add numbers to the list. But what if we want to add names to the list? We can't do it using this number list because this number list is storing only what? Integers. Do you get that?
Yes.
Now I want to store what? Names. So what am I going to do? I define a variable or create an instance of a list class that takes in what? A string data type for storing names of people, right?
Yes.
String num names equal to new list of string. This finish. That's all. Now I can store string names that are string, purely string names that are string. Do we all get that? Hello,
You're welcome.
are you following? Hello, yeah. Are we good? Can someone hear me?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So names dot add. What am I adding now? Who knows this something? What is the difference between the first and the second? Who noticed? There's something magical that's happening. Who can spot that? Hmm? Hello. All right, let me go ahead now, since no one can spot that. Remember when we used the first one, it was showing this is the data type list of ints, which is taking generic ints, it's taking integers. Then the parameter is specifying that it is an integer, right? Now, if you hover on this, it's no longer, sorry, okay, it's no longer int, but it's string. Who can tell me why?
Because what we define is string, that is name, not in.
Exactly. So it works dynamically, right?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
works dynamically and all. So meaning I have to store strings here. Now, aside if there was no generic, what will happen? That's what we want to do now, which is going to be purely practical so that you can appreciate what generic does, right? So I'm going to create a demo on that now.
I have a question before you
All right,
proceed.
go
So
ahead.
it's like now when you declare the list variable for name and list of number, can we define it one after the other? Like list of list int number list equals to new and the list string names new class before we start assigning
Sorry,
variables.
go
I said
ahead.
like now, if you declare the list int
Mm-hmm.
and number list and name
Yes,
one after the other
yes.
accordingly,
Okay,
can we
like
still
this,
call yes,
like this.
yes,
Yeah, we can now. We are just defining it. Yeah, we are defining and initializing it. Yeah, we can do that.
okay.
Yes.
And
Then we
also if
start
you want
calling the
to
variable.
console,
Yes.
if you want to console all the list variable at once, is it a must to be showing the index number? Or is there a way to
This is where you use loops. Yeah, it's where you use loops. I'll just leave that to you to go and figure it out. But okay, now let's try. Let's use let's use for each. I've not thought about, have I thought for each in this class?
no?
No, I've not thought for each. Let's use for each. For loops. Loops helps us. You know the reason why it wasn't showing you it is because it's a list, it's an array. It's not like a variable that C# or Visual Studio will just print out the value. This is an array, so it needs a loop to loop each into each indexes to print out the value. Do you get?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is what we would do now. We'd use, let's use for loop for that. Let's use for loop for that. Right. Hope we all remember for loop. Int I, okay, equals to 0. Then I less than let's say I want to print out all the values for numbers, right? Right. Numbers list dot I need to get the list, the length of numbers list. There is a method that helps us do that. Capacity. Yeah, I think capacity does that. Gets us set the total
Okay,
number of
it's not the
elements
same
in
thing with
internal. Sorry?
it's not the same thing with array. You know, in array we use dot length.
Length. Yeah. For lists, I think it's capacity. Yeah, the
Uh,
capacity. Let's confirm that now. Let's confirm that. Console dot write line number list dot capacity. Let's see, it should give us 2. Let's
sir,
see. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, okay.
You said
Continue.
what?
No, I know. I saw
Okay,
that you
okay.
for
All
each
right, all
that for
right.
each.
So the capacity here is trying to add 3 and 1, 4. So it will not work. It's adding 3 and 1, which is 4. It's adding the value,
You can't see the console,
not
sir.
the length. Okay. Let me add that. All right, hold on. Can you see the console now?
No, sir.
All right. This. All right. How about now?
Yes, we can see it now.
All right. So this now is adding the values. That's what capacity does. It calculates the value. It adds the value, not the size. Because I was expecting 2, like the length of this array is 2 currently, right? So capacity doesn't help me achieve that. So let's try count. I think count does that. Count gets the number of elements contained in that list. So I think count works. So I'm going to run it now. We see it's two items. That is the size 2. Do we get that?
Yes, sir.
Great. So
So
now go ahead.
like now, assuming the data type is string, if you use dot capacity, will it work or is not going to work for
Okay, we'll
string?
try that out and see now. All right, we'll try that out. Let's just finish this one first. Let's use the loop to print out all the values, right?
All right, sir.
Okay, so count, then I plus plus. Okay, so I want the console to print out the values, which is what, which is going to be what? Numbers list I. Yeah, that's all. Then hope we still remember for loop, how to write for loop. It's important to, there's 4 each, right? So okay, let me run this. 3, 1. We'll use loop to just get the value of it. Do we get that?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Now back to your question of if that works with strings. Let's see. Let's see. All right. I add this. I copy this. I put this. Now I want to get the names.count. Is it names.count of
Capacity.
capacity? All right. Let's see what it's going to give. 4. It's giving me 4. Let's see why is it giving me 4. Why do you think it's giving me 4? Get or set the total number of elements in internal data structure can hold. Okay, it's like this is the capacity now. It's telling you the capacity the variable can hold. Set the total number of elements the internal data structure can hold without resizing. Meaning it can hold
Okay.
4 or more, but it cannot be less if that's what it means. Sure. But you can just
Okay.
research on that. I don't usually use capacity anyways. So
Okay.
can
That
check
means
that out.
the 4 that showed in when you try for int is not the same, it's not the addition.
No. It's not the addition. Yes, it's not the addition. I was thinking it's the addition. So it's telling us the capacity of that container. If so.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
All right. Hope we are not lost to. All right. Let's go to create our own custom generic. But before we do that, let's create the normal manual way of doing things without using generic so that we appreciate what generic does. Any question? All right, no question. So I'm going to create a class and call it a container for storing integer values, right? And I'll create another container for storing strings, right? All right. So come here, create my class. Create my class now. Call it intbox. And just call it inbox. So this one will store values for int. Okay. Okay, so intbox. So first let me define my properties, no, my constructors. Public int box, inbox, then passing. I want to create an instance, then passing in the content. All right. Then here would be, then after here, constructors, methods, and properties. This is how I want to structure my code, right? So the properties, what are the properties of this class? It's going to be, I can use prop to give you my templates for it. So I have the int, then content, which is a getter and a setter. Then yeah, I hope we are not confused with this one. Oh. Content, then I'll console right line, right? Okay, thank you. Box created. Okay, thank you. All right. This is content, right? So I've created the class inbox, then the constructor, when I'm initializing this, creating an instance of the constructor, I'll pass in the content, pass in the value. Hope we are all following. Hope we are following. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you? Yes.
Yeah.
Who is confused? This is something we did in our previous classes, so it's
Yes.
similar. Oh.
Like not everybody attend the last labs. Majority
Eh?
of us are not in it. I say majority of us are not in the last labs.
Not even last class. This was last week, sir.
Constructor
Wait,
was
wait, wait, wait. Wait, you are confused with this. Let me know.
a little bit, but
Which video did you watch? Where the last class, or which video did you stop at? Did you watch the last week's video
upgrade.
on
Yes,
classes? How we define classes, the constructors, the methods, the properties.
I've not watched that one. The last person.
So whose fault is it now? It's not my fault now. Eh? Just try and watch those videos, please. Or else you
Okay,
will get lost. I'm serious, you will get lost. Hmm?
all right, sir.
All right, thanks. So we have the method. Now I want to define the method that will get the content of what was created here. So public int get content. So whenever they call this method, it's going to give you the content of how you stored the value. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Return content, let it return it, right? Then I want to create another method that is going to return the data type. It will return the data type of what you are using when you are consuming this class, okay? Don't worry, everything will make sense when I finish. Public void display type, okay? So let this going to tell you inbox host type of what? It's host type of what? Content dot. There's a method called get type. This tells you the data type this content has. Get type dot name. So if I want to know the data type of a particular value, I just need to call that value dot get type dot name. It's going to tell me the data type. So if it is a int data type, it's going to tell me that this data type, the value of this data type is an int, integer one int. Are we all following?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I think that is that for it. So we have the int box. Now I want to define another class that will hold strings. So it's going to be called string box. All right. So we have the int box. So the goal of this is manual way without generic is imagine having a box that stores integers. Then we have another box that stores strings. Then we have another box that stores double, right? That's what I'm trying to demonstrate, okay? Right?
Yes.
All right. String box. All right, string box. String box. Let me split this. It has the same CRUD operation, so the same CRUD, the same method, like no difference, the same thing. And when you notice things like that, you are duplicating, you are repeating yourself, which is not so. So it's going to have this same method, right? In this class, that's what we want to do now. Public class string box, the name, the constructor, right? So which takes in what? This time around is going to be what? String content. So we now call in the content now. Okay, I need to define the properties. The properties is this one. So I'll just use this one. It's not going to be int now. It's going to be what? String. String content. Then the method is going to be these two. These two now. Now you are repeating yourself. This is string. String get content. Then what else? I think that is that. So we have two classes. Tell me what's the difference? What's similar in these two classes? Let's start from there.
The difference is that just the return data type.
No, what is similar? Let's start from there. What is similar?
That means the constructor
The method.
is
Okay.
similar.
The
The method,
method,
the method
yeah,
is
similar.
similar.
Okay.
And I think it's only method.
Method, is it only method? Method, constructor, what again? What again? Which one are we repeating ourselves again?
Property.
Exactly. Who agreed to that, or you're confused?
Property is not the same due to the return type in
Yeah,
that
but you
int.
still have the same variable name, the
Yes.
name, yeah, the accessor. Then what is different is the data type.
Yes.
Do you get that? So in programming, when you're writing, when you are designing and implementing your code, you yourself, you know that you are repeating yourself, right? The code you write, you see things like this. You will check this one. Okay, this one is similar. Like, what's the difference between this and this one? Okay, this is a string. This is an int. Then this parameter is taking like it's the same thing, the same content. Like you yourself, you know that you are actually repeating yourself. And whenever you repeat yourself, I mean, one concept helps to solve that, and that is generic. But I'll show you how we are going to solve that. So we have two classes, inbox and stringbox. Now let us consume this using our program.cs. I hope it's not confusing. No. All right. So we can just say this is a demo usage without using generics. This is demo usage without using generics. So I want to create an instance of the inbox. All right, inbox. Then my int box equal to new int box. Okay. Then I want to pass in what it's telling me to pass in the contents 1, 2, 3. Right? Now I can say all right. Retrieved from inbox. I want what value am I retrieving from here? I'm retrieving what? Now I'm calling in the method my inbox dot get content. Get content. Are we following?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to know the data type of this inbox. What is the data type of this inbox? Get display type. I think is display type. Yeah, because I've already defined the method. Yeah, let me even put it here self. Okay, this is the display type I'm calling on. All right, hold on. I think that is all. Then I'll just use console right line to demarcate this. Demarcate this for the next one, which is going to be for the string, right? So what I just need to do here is the same thing I'll do here, but this time around it's going to be what? String box. Okay. String box. String box. Now I have to store what? String, right? Let's say hello world. All right, hello world. Then retrieved from string box is going to be this dot get content, then this dot get content. I have two classes that are doing these two things. If I run this now, let's run it and see what we get. All right, so you can't see my console. Yep, let me make that visible. All right, can we see this?
Not
Yes,
you.
Can you see
you
it
can
now?
see it. Yes, you can see it.
All right, so inbox created with what? 1, 2, 3, right? Inbox created with this inbox created with 1, 2, 3 was when I created an instance. So it ran this constructor and this console write line, which is this inbox created with 1, 2, 3. Are we following?
Yes.
Great. Then retrieved from inbox is from the program. Retrieve from inbox. What are we retrieving? The content of the value we created with now, right? Which is 1, 2, 3. Then the data type of this value is what? Int 32. That's the data type. The same thing with what? The string. String box created with hello world. Retrieved from string box hello world. What's the data type of okay, I was supposed to change this to what? Where is it there? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, copy and pasting. I should be careful with copy and pasting. Yeah, here is supposed to be string. Do you get that?
Yes.
Yeah. So now I have two classes that are doing the same thing. They have the same constructor. They have the same methods, right? And they also have the same properties. The only difference is the data type. Do you get that?
Yes.
Now, I want to use generic. With generic now, I just need to create just one class that will handle all the data types. That's the whole idea of this. Just one class will handle everything. So how do we create a generic, a custom or user-defined generic class? That's what we want to do now. All right. Is someone lost?
No.
Are you sure? Okay. So let's create a generic class. We can call that generic box. We can call it generic box. Yeah, we can call it generic box now. Now,
Okay. So sorry.
all right, go ahead.
So with generic class now, so we can now call both the int and the string inside.
Exactly. Yeah, just like the list, what we're doing with the list.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Yeah. So this is us defining it. Now, how do I tell
Is it
C#
like the
that?
base class?
Sorry?
Is it like that is the base class?
What makes a class a base class is if other classes are inheriting from it now, right?
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So this class, there's no class inheriting from this now. So this is just a standalone class. Or
okay. Okay.
so yeah. So we have generic box. Now I want to tell C# that I want to make this class a generic class. So how do I tell C#? So I'm telling C# that if someone is consuming this generic box, this class, let it specify the data type, like specify the data type of the class you want to use, right? So this is how we tell C# that we are actually creating a generic class. If I don't do this, if I just do this, this is like a normal class. But doing this now makes it a generic class. Do you get that?
Yeah, so you must put a generic that is in specify, right? Generic.
Yes. Yeah, this is
Or
telling this. Sorry?
is it just the naming your naming this in like adding it
You
to the
can
function?
use let's see, you can use any letter. Yeah, it still
Okay.
works. But the convention is C# whenever you are defining a generic class, we use C.
C.
It's uniform, yes. When you're defining a class, yeah. But you can use this C. It's not as if you use any other letter, it's not going to work. If you use M, it's even going to work, but C# is going to flag one error saying the type M only contains lowercase. Such names may become reserved for the language. So it's stating that generic types, when you are trying to write a generic class, the letter that you're trying to put as placeholder to represent data type should be in capital letter. Do you
Okay.
get? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying conventionally, we usually use T. I use T to represent the placeholder for storing the data type, right?
Yes.
This is the list. Let me show you the list first. The inbuilt generic class in C#. This is let's go to the one C# built. Okay. Go to implementation. Right. This is it now. This is the C# one. This is how they define that. The same thing,
Yes.
right? If
Yes.
you check for dictionary, I think dictionary is another one. So if you check dictionary, let's check the dictionary. See, this is dictionary now. Dictionary is now taking two key value, but it's taking two, meaning it's going to accept two data types, the key and the value. Do you get that? So there are
Yes.
other inbuilt classes, inbuilt generic classes, like the hash set in the slide I made mention of, the hash set. Hash set is taking, look at now, I don't need to even go there. I can just read documentation from here. It's a
Yes.
generic. It's inheriting from generic. It's taking what? Just one data type. Do you get that?
Yes.
So now we want to define our own user-defined generic. That's what we want to do now, which is this, right?
Yes.
Great. Now, the next thing is, whenever you notice you are repeating yourself, first of all, create the generic class. Secondly, check the constructor. What is check the constructor, right? Okay, we are going to write our own constructor. Let's write our own constructor, right? Let's write the
Yeah.
constructor. CTOR, this is our own constructor now. This constructor now, if you check the both classes that was implemented, this int box now, inside there it was taking what? Int content. The string was what? String content. Do you get the difference?
Yes.
So for our generic now, I can't use string, I can't use int because I don't know who is going to consume this generic class. So I don't know who is going to consume. I want to leave it for the person that is going to consume it to tell me that if it is a string, that means here will be a string. So since I don't want to use string or int, I will just use t. This t is this t here, meaning if the consumer passing a string here when you were trying to consume, you remember when I made mention of you consuming that list and specifying the data type, right?
Yes.
So if you are passing in a string, automatically here will be what?
If you're passing a string, it will just be
So here will be what? If here is a string, what will be the data type here?
string.
Thank you. So that's what we want to do. We are trying to make it generic. Hope we are following. Okay?
Yes.
Then we still copy this. It's not that complex. Copy it. Next thing is the properties. Let's write the property. This is the property now, right? This is the property. Let me just write it here. This is it. Now, I don't want to use string. I don't want to use int. What will I use here?
You just use the list.
Why are you using list?
Sorry.
What will be the data type there?
String.
No.
No, we can use generic.
Generic.
So I should write generic.
No.
What was I using here now? I was using T.
T. You use T.
Uh-huh. Hope we are all following. No?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Thank you. So for the methods now, let's copy those methods that are duplicating. Then we'll be the one to replace what needs to be replaced. So where do I need to change to T?
When you don't know the particular data type you are going to use.
Yeah. Which adjustment, which refactoring, or where do I need to do changes? Which place do I need to change to?
That will be
Return. No.
the method.
Where you want to define the method
This method is returning what?
Count is
is
returning
string.
So what do I do now? Since this is a generic, what do I do? We are still confused. This string should be T now. It's returning a T because I don't know who else is
data.
consuming this generic class, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you confused? Is anyone confused? Eh? Are we good?
Partially.
Don't worry, we practice. So this is it now. Assuming I had another method, let's say, don't worry, everything will become clear. how generic works is you are actually repeating yourself. If you check, these are two classes. We have the string box, we have the int box, we have constructor, which is the same thing with this one. The only difference between all the operations is just the data type, right?
Yes.
It's just the
Yes, sir.
data type. Now, I don't want to be creating, if let's say I want to create another class that will hold double, it means I will end up doing what? Creating another class, call it what? Double box. Do you get the issue now?
Yes.
Now, the data type now, I want to create a generic that works for this both. That generic that works for this both. Now, if you check the example I did, let's go back. The example I did, yeah, this was the example I did. This was the example I did. Yeah. Numbers list. Sorry. Okay. Wait. This was the example I did. Now, this is you consuming it. This is you consuming the generic class, and this is you stating the data type. This int is like that your t. Yeah, it's like that your t when you were defining it. Now, that t is the placeholder. Like, is the placeholder telling you that when you are consuming this now, or you are creating an instance, once you specify that that t should represent int, it means wherever t is will be what? Int. Here will be int. Here will be int. Here will be int. Is it clear?
But sir, why saying that here all supposed will be int? I thought why we are using that T is to is because we don't know the particular data type that we are going to use.
Yeah. That's why we are using t here.
Okay. But so my question is that you are saying something about string int a string.
See now, this list, when you are defining this list now, let me just mock that list class. It's like this: public class list. You pass in what t represents whatever when you are consuming it, then this is it. This is the class, right?
Yes.
You have defined it. Now I want to create an instance of this class. I want to create an instance of this class. So I'm calling the list. Now C# is telling me what data type do you want this list to hold, right? This T is the placeholder here for you to specify the data type you want that list to hold. So what data type do you want this list to hold? I want this list to hold what?
Int.
Int data type. I want it to hold int data type. So since I've specified that my T represents int, it means inside this list class now, wherever I'm using T, that T will become what? Int dynamically.
Okay.
Or what if I want it to be string? It means inside the list class, wherever I'm using T will become what? String.
Okay.
Do you get it now?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All this thing is practice, so it took me over 5 months, 4, 5, 6 months to understand this concept. So it's okay if you are struggling with it. That's why I would advise try to practice more on it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So T, T, this. So even I had, let's say, this string box had another one called, let's say, public um, string get time. Let's say get name. Let's say get name, right? Publicly get name. Let it return what? Let return the content, still return content thereabout. Then this is for the string go. Still, this same operation is still duplicated for the int. But the difference now is here they are using what? Int. Once I notice this repetition, all I just need to do is to create a generic class, copy any of them, go to the generic class, right? Paste it here. And what do I need to change? What this thing do I need to change?
Which one?
What do I need to change? This is the generic class. I've copied that repeating operation and put here. What do I need to change here to make this generic?
You remove the int
And put what?
t.
Thank you. Are we all following?
Yes.
Are we good?
Yes.
All right. The class, they quiet too. Marian Abate, you have been quiet. How far? Emmanuel, how far?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Emmanuel, how far? We there on the same page? I dey wait for
Yes,
your
I'm following.
reply.
I'm following.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
following.
All right. Who else have no code? Deligwe, are we good? Deligwe. Eh, okay, Abdul. Okay, Abdul is following. The gift, senior dev. Yeah, she dey follow. All right, more push now. All right, so that's it. Let me delete this one. Okay, and work with just these two. So now I have these two. I have the two and I have the generic. Now I'm going to use this generic to repeat what I did in our example here. I'm going to use the generic here. All those things don't go. Damn. All right, that's fine. No problem. All those examples have gone. Shit. All right. All those examples have gone. How do I get them back? I have to write it again. All right, so I want to use generic box to repeat that flow. Okay,
Yes.
great. So now with generics, how does this work? Create a box for integers. So you're not going to see me use int box to still create this. You're not going to see me use string box to do for string. I will still use the generic box all through. Now watch. First, you create the instance, generic box, right? Box. Then specify the data type. What data type is this? You want it to store what? Int. Then my int generic box equal to new generic int. Then you specify it and you close it and you specify put the content. So the content is what 1, 2, 3. That's all. Do you get that? Let me put this one here. So this is for the box. Now I want to do same. Create a box for string. Same thing, I will still use this generic box. Then this time around, I'm passing what?
DT.
Why are you still using
The
T?
string. Sorry. The string.
All right. My string generic box equal to new this, then outpassing what? Hello world. So
But
you notice that you are using one stone to kill two birds. That is how it works with generics. Do you get the flow now?
yes.
Great.
Yes,
So we have done this and all other ones still works. So if I come here and say my generic box dot display type now. See now, this display type now, dynamically, because we are using int, is now saying the data type of the return value of this stuff is the return value is void. But now,
okay.
wherever I'm calling generic box, is taking it as int. Do you get that? Therefore,
Yes.
here now, wherever I call string dot, let's say I want to call it's okay, it's flagging because of this. Let me close that. Dot this. See now, it's telling me it is a string. So
Yes.
it has worked dynamically because from the beginning I specified this is a type, this generic box should take in what? Data type int. Do you get that?
Yes.
But there are other generic class that can take more than one data type. It can take int, string. It can take this both. But that will work if we do what? We define a generic what that takes in what? Two data type. Do you get?
At once, right?
At once. So if we don't define it, it's not going to work. So more like this, public plus generic box 2. Then you specify TK. Finish.
So
So
the
by
K
doing this,
stands for
the second value, T and K, it stands for the second data type.
okay.
If I want to define a generic that takes in 3, T, K, M, it's just any letter you want to use. Like
Yes.
it's just this is just placeholder, meaning if I'm consuming this generic box too, it's going to be like this. I have to specify 3 data type, which is generic box 2. I have to specify int, maybe string, then maybe int. Do you get it?
Yes.
Is it clearer now?
Yes.
Great. So that's how we do with generic. We'll be using generic a lot. Like it's a very important concept. That's why I'm taking my time to explain this. It's very straightforward. So you just need to take your time and do more practice on it. Any question? We have come to the end of today's class.
Okay, my question is like you have specified using T, K, and M. Is there any way we can still use those data type that we can like using the string instead of using T or int to maybe we want to make use of 3 data type.
Mm-hmm.
We can still can we still use those data type to specify it in the generic box?
Like to use string, yeah.
Yes.
No, 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 no. You
Okay,
can't
so
do
you
that.
must use
You must, they are placeholder. Those things, when you are defining a generic, it
yes.
has to be placeholder, right?
Okay.
It has to be placeholder. And the reason why this didn't work, because that string is a keyword, is a reserved keyword. So
Okay.
you can see it as variables. Yeah. They are variables and they are placeholders.
Okay.
Mm. All right. Any question? Okay, no question. No question. Abdul, Edegift, Deligwe, Abdul, Marian, Abate, Emmanuel. No question, right?
Yes, sir.
So I've just finished asking my question now.
Okay, 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 okay. All right, so no question now. All right, thank you all.
Are we having our another task today?
Nah, 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 it won't be this week. It's next week. You'll have promotional tax next week. Yep.
All right, sir.
All right, guys. Thank you all. To have a wonderful night and see you all next week. Please try and do research. Oh, please, Biko. Ask question on the channel, please. Thank you.
Oh, sir, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest
Bye.
of the day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.